Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
My classy co-host here turned to me during that song, and in not such a classy tone with such classy words, indicated that her lady thing will be happening while we're in Mexico. And I said, isn't there a way to speed that up? Now, again, I have never had the menstruation, and I was under the impression that a month ago when this happened, that there were measures you could take to speed it up or push it back so that if you had something special going on, like a trip to Mexico with a whole bunch of listeners.
What are you even talking about? Who told you that?
Am I right or am I wrong? If you're listening to this, is there a way, like, if you know, like, if this is your week, is there a way of pushing it back a week or getting it started a week earlier so that a month from right now, you don't always have, it's not your time. Like, you've got some special thing that you want to make sure you don't have to mess with it with.
Don't you think that if this were a thing, JJ, that women would just do this all the time?
I think it's probably not the healthiest. Like, your body should be on a healthy cycle. But I'm almost positive there's things that you could have done, preparations you could have made so that you didn't have your friend with you in Mexico.
Yeah, there are things like get an IUD or birth control implants or oral birth control pills. I could do that, but I don't
like
need
change
to.
your diet or take some supplements like extra vitamin C or something like that.
You're ridiculous.
No, somebody will let us know.
You can take that stuff to make your time more bearable.
Yeah,
but
well,
you can't go like
listen,
this, I have a wedding.
Or just be tough. I mean, stop complaining about it would be the first thing to do to make it more.
One, I'm fine because I don't like the ocean anyway, so I'm just going to be hanging by the pool and tanning the whole time. But it's just like the having to bring extra stuff and
buy them there, can't you?
Feeling bloated. Yeah, for $1 million.
You're telling me
my luggage.
Mexican women are paying $1 million a month?
I feel bad for them.
Shut up. There's got to be things you can do.
I just know that it's much more expensive down there for like a bottle of the calamine lotion. Remember when I had the sand flea situation?
You're a mess every time, man. Like there's just no making you happy. There is. You can't bring you anywhere. I want to go to Mexico again.
Oh my
I can't this time. See, you're sick?
And speaking of being sick, I'm going to have to bring some extra stuff with because if you buy it down there, like a bottle of NyQuil is like $27.
But it's way better.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's got cartel NyQuil. That's why.
Not even close to being true. You can't speed up or tailor make your time of the month. You're so ill-informed. This is like awful.
No, there's something besides jumping on emergency birth control. Okay, do me this.
Sarah, thank you. I know. That's what I have to freaking deal with.
I'm not saying this is something you should do. I'm saying, would it, if you got, let's just say you went to the store and you got a handful of Plan B, would that stop it?
Okay. Very ill-advised.
I'm not. That's why I said I'm not sure what the repercussions are. But would that?
You would be very ill.
Would you?
Yes, you would be very ill. No, I would never do that.
There's got to be something you can do if you
Emily
want to.
says drink lots of water. That will help too. But it will not. It will not speed up.
I think it will.
Anything.
There's a way to do it. You're just not very conscious of it. It's sad that I'm having to have this discussion with you.
What I would love is if it just like lengthened and didn't come until the 23rd. The 23rd, that would be so ideal. Right when I get back.
This is so disappointing that this is what you wanted to talk about right now. How was your Tuesday? What'd you do?
It was good. I went and ran to Target to get some stuff for a Valentine's meal that was requested by my Valentine, my younger Valentine.
Yeah, so what was that meal?
Chicken fettuccine Alfredo with real garlic bread. I never do.
Did you get the stuff in the tinfoil pack? Yeah, that's good to splurge on every once in a while.
It was good. It was really good. And so I made the chicken in the air fryer. It was delicious. But I picked him up from school. We had like a little Valentine after school coffee snack at the coffee shop. But when I was at Target, I had this coughing fit and I had to duck into one of the aisles because if you cough like that, people are like, oh, COVID.
Really? You think people I don't even think about that anymore.
Yes. And so I duck in and I'm just coughing like crazy, pee my pants. It was so bad. I had to just leave. I left. I didn't have anything.
So you went to Target and didn't make a purchase because you pissed yourself.
Yes, it was that bad. And it's not like a puddle was there or anything.
Have
but
I
it
ever
was
been able
upsetting.
to elaborate in words how sexy you've become over the years on the show? Where it's just you
can't find those
well,
words.
and I'm telling you, as you take a peek at the landscape of beautiful women across our country, to see that you're leading the way.
Unparalleled. I know.
It's a burden that I'm glad that you've assumed and you've taken up the mantle and decided to represent. All right, so you drive all the way home in your pee pants.
Yep. And then I ended up stopping off at the grocery store after I changed my pee pants, and then I dyed my hair, and then I got down this Theo. You know who Theo Von is?
I do know Theo Von. Yeah.
Oh my God, his interviews are so insanely funny. I can't believe
because he doesn't take anything seriously. He's one of the last great comedians that doesn't care if you decide you want to cancel him.
He told this story about how his dad had this friend. He was an older friend. We called him Mr. Bob, and Bob would have the cinnamon stuck to his hands, and he would just put his hand behind his back, and we'd come up and lick his hand, and he just loved it. And he would just have his hand down here, and then he'd always just load it down with some cinnamon sugar, and we'd just lick Mr. Bob's hand. It was just like the way he told the story. It was really funny.
Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody! We got this text from Angela, and when we thought we misread it, we thought it was missing some information, and then we dug a little bit deeper, and via a text exchange, she now joins the show, and we know about the former bully dating situation. We know enough, I guess. So how did this all start? That's my big question.
I was out with friends, and he just kind of showed up there.
Okay, so you see him after high school, all this time later. And what was high school like? How did he make it like a living hell for you?
Oh, he was nasty. He was the worst. He wrote stuff on the bathroom walls. He would stick like notes in my locker. He started rumors. He made fun of the way I looked, all kinds of things. He even wrote in a Dear Abby once, totally making fun of me, as a lie, just bull.
So, when little boys have a crush on little girls, sometimes they're mean to them, but this is beyond that. He was abusive, right?
This sounds horrible.
Yeah, he was just nasty. Not a good person then. I didn't like him at all.
You gave him a chance. You guys went on a date last night. How did it go? Mm-hmm. Did you see the high school side of him, or was it who is this guy?
Grown up.
That's the weird part. He kind of just wasn't that person anymore. But I was I went out with him ready to be I'm going to ghost this guy, and I'm going to show him what he showed me.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But he wasn't really like that.
You like this guy, don't you? I can tell right now, you've got something for him.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird. I didn't expect that.
So do you think people can change, Kat? Can this?
Of course people can change. Of course they can. But you're a better woman than me, because I could not forget about all that terrible stuff.
He really does seem like he's a different human being. And somehow he got better looking, too. I don't even know how that happened. But
okay. And obviously you did, if he was trying to go on a date with you.
Yeah.
A couple minutes ago, heard from Angela, who just went on a date with her former bully, her former high school bully.
He saw her out. Their friends were all together. And he walked up and he asked her out on a date.
She sounded smitten.
Well, yeah, but she said her first goal was okay, I'm going to let you buy me some food and then I'm going to ghost you. But she said that they had a really good time. So I'm happy that he didn't hurt her anymore. It sounds like he made her life a living hell.
And you think that zebra can change its spots?
I hope so. But yeah, I mean, you really hold on to your bullies. There was one guy, what's the Otto guy?
Yeah.
That,
I was gonna,
and he died.
Wyatt had just texted and he said there was a dude in high school that he and I hated each other. We even fought a few times, and I found out last week that he passed away, and I genuinely felt bad.
Well, yeah,
Man,
you have compassion for a life.
I gotta say, listen, I don't want this to look really, really horrible on me, but when my high school bully, when I found out that he OD'd and died, I felt bad for his family. But that guy wrecked my life for like the better part of 10 years.
Yeah.
Genuinely, really, really made my life worse.
That's
almost
too bad.
every single day. And I know I should have felt a whole lot more compassion when I heard that he died.
Yeah.
But I really didn't, man. Like he had become such an evil part of my memories from a childhood.
You would take your glasses off, right?
Oh my God! Like he broke my glasses, I bet a half a dozen times in elementary
terrible.
school. Like I remember to the worst, and I'm not going to cry. But the
God, you look like
the
you're gonna.
worst was I had like I didn't grow up rich like you guys.
Yeah.
So when I got a birthday present, it was a big like a big deal.
Yeah.
And I remember I got a new glove and a new ball, and I was like 8 or 9, and you could tell like it was a nice glove, but I had that perfect white pearl of a baseball, and we went and played at the park the one day, and this guy got it, and he was bigger than all the rest of our like little kids, and he took it and he walked right over to where the sewer drain was and threw it down there.
My God.
And I remember coming home, and I got my glove on the handlebars of my bike.
Yeah.
And coming into the driveway, and my dad's out there and having a beer with his friends. Oh, yeah, look at the new glove we got him. And he's like, show him the ball. And I go, that guy threw it down the sewer. And my dad goes, what are you going to do about it? And I genuinely, it was Monday, it was the next Monday in school. And I walked up to the kid on the playground, and I punched him right in the nose. And he beat the piss out of me.
Yeah.
He turned around and throttled me. And broke my glasses.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was bad, man. And like I said, I know you're supposed to feel compassion when someone dies, but maybe I'm broken, but I didn't.
Some core memories.
I did not feel a whole lot of bad when I found out that guy died.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my God! Are you ready? I'm so excited.
Ready to run.
Oh,
Chicks, man.
the chicks,
It
man.
was bananas because we were on our way home Sunday morning, right? We're Sunday morning. My son has a hockey game before the Super Bowl. And I was just kind of flipping through the playlist on my phone.
Yeah.
And I got like, I think it was this song from the Dixie Chicks. And my wife goes, whatever happened to them? And I'm like, country music fans, they're really loyal fans, but they up and crucified these girls because they said they were ashamed George Bush was from Texas.
Yeah.
So I was working for a country radio station at the time, and they made them sacrificial lambs, and they were the biggest thing in music at the time.
I know. I just could not believe how long they kept them off of the radio. They were amazing. You have Chris Brown beating Rihanna, and he was back faster than the chicks were.
There are a few country artists that I would pay to see, but I'll go to that show if I'm not busy to see the Chicks at the Minnesota State Fair.
They are coming for a second show to the Grandstand Concert Series, and they're going to be playing 7 p.m. on Friday, August 25th. And the ticket prices for reserve seating, they're very affordable. They're like $77 to $117.
So if you make it a date night, it's $150 plus fare, food. You can get away with a $300 night.
Sounds like an experience. I would like that. Officials at Michigan State University, they're identifying the 3 victims who were shot and killed 2 nights ago on campus and say that they were all from the Detroit area. As far as the motive, the father of the shooter says that his son became, quote, evil and mean following the death of his mother 2 years ago. And he also didn't know why his son targeted the school, never spoke about it. He believed that his son was a danger to himself and others prior to the shooting. Listen, this is where you say something. It may be your child, but you could be saving lives. If you know that they have access to a firearm, or if they're, he did say, he made the comment that he started playing more dangerous and mind-altering video games. I don't want to be that person to say that video games could do that. But
there's proof out there that your mental state changes when you play enough of those videos, when you're exposed to enough of that stuff. With anything else, whether it's polarizing music, polarizing news talk shows, whatever it is. I think what they need to key on here is that traumatic event that happened with the death of his mother. Obviously sent this guy onto a road that was dark,
Yeah.
And I think, the more we're learning about mental health and traumatizing events and how it affects people as far as getting kind of off that mainstream thought pattern, that's something that we need to pay attention to.
Nothing shows that you love someone more than to get them the help that they deserve.
Yeah.
So California lottery officials, they're revealing the name of the winner of November's record high $2 billion Powerball jackpot. We have not heard of this person until now.
The long-awaited mystery is now over. The name of the person who is the only player to match all 6 numbers of the historic Powerball drawing last November is Edwin Castro. Edwin would like to largely remain private. He understands his name is part of the public record and now part of history. But he respectfully declined our invitation to appear publicly with us today.
So why would you do that?
However, on Facebook, and so I messaged him.
Why would you do that? Why won't you just show up and take a picture with the big check?
I don't know. I
get, you probably have a lawyer that's telling you, listen, lay as low as possible. Everyone's going to have their hand out for a while. We want to make sure everybody gets what they need to get. But
all you have to do is say no. It's not like you're walking around with this money.
You know what I would have done?
So,
I would have had him beam me in via Zoom. That's what I'd have had him done.
Okay.
You know what I mean? This guy's probably holed up in a hotel in Billings somewhere. You know what I mean?
What a great life he's going to live. I love that for him. All right, get me a sexy beat. Some people thinking St. Cloud, one of the sexiest cities in the world.
I don't think anyone's thinking that.
No, but in the country, the sexiest city, what do you think it is? If you had to think of just the
sexiest
sex appeal,
I would have
hot.
said Vegas just because of all it's legalized prostitution and there's strippers everywhere.
All valid points, but it's actually Chicago.
Really?
Yeah. Chicago is a very fun city.
I
You have to know where to go, but
I wouldn't have called it sexy. It's fun for me.
Followed by Dallas, and in second place, Las Vegas came in third. So
I was close.
a little dusty out there.
You'd say we're any city in Minnesota make the list?
Melrose. All right. Set the tone with some Pink here while I find. So Pink is coming out now, and she's talking about this mental health break that she took for 2 weeks. She went to Europe, and she got away from her family. She went to clear her mind, and this is a big deal for somebody on that level to say that this is okay to do. If you're not right, your family is not going to be right. What do you think about this? If Trisha said, I just need 2 weeks to right my head, I'm going to go overseas, I'm going to do like an Eat, Pray, Love. What do you think of that?
No
do you think
way.
it's selfish as a mom?
Absolutely.
You truly do?
Oh,
Don't
my
you
God.
think it's more selfish to be here
I
but
could
not be here?
Never support something like that. What is going to happen to me if she's not here for 2 weeks?
Okay, so now I know you're joking.
I'm not. How do you think, just say it gets to the end of the 2 weeks and I stumble here on a Thursday morning. What do you think?
I can't take you seriously right now.
What do you think really would happen to a guy like me if she wasn't around for 2 weeks?
This is why I'm raising the son I'm raising. Like to get up, be able to make his own food, survive.
I can eat my own food. I can survive, but I would be a mess without her.
But you would be more of a mess to be with somebody that is not happy and not living
What about me? What about me?
Oh, my
what
God.
about
Shut
me
up.
being happy?
No.
That's where this boils down to.
Her husband, Carrie Hart, was like, you need to go. I'm seeing the difference in you, and it's not good.
See, for us, we're pretty lucky because Trish gets her company offers sabbatical, and she did that, I don't know, 3 years ago or whatever, and she took like a month and just kind of did what she wanted to do. Woke up on her time, and she took it during the summer, like a June sabbatical too. So other than walking around, and she took the dog for a lot of walks, and just kind of did her thing and really relaxed and got right. And I think the companies that can offer something like this, man, I think you get employees that decide they want to be there forever and do really great work for you.
I don't know. I was just reading about all the stuff that she was going through in 2022. I had no idea. So she had like a big weight gain because she had double disc surgery. And then after that, she had a procedure on her knee. And then she lost her father the previous summer. So she was still dealing with that depression, trying to lose the weight, couldn't. Got COVID a couple of times. And so when she left for Europe, she would work out a couple of times a day. She would eat clean. Her metabolism was getting back to where she felt comfortable with it. Her mind was getting there. She was just taking time.
Lucky to have a situation where you can just up and disengage for 2 weeks. Most of us don't have that.
Not a lot of people. I would say a very small percentage of people have this luxury of being able to retreat and knowing that your family is still being taken care of.
I don't think, I've had nights where I am at our cabin working all day, and I'll decide to sleep there instead of come home, and I'm so bored without people around me, man.
Well, maybe you're not at the point where you need it. When you're at the point that you need it,
you don't think I need it?
No, people need a break from you. So you stay out there.
I just shouldn't be alone. I think bad things happen then.
But people are talking about how it was selfish for her to leave her two young kids.
Selfish. Listen, those kids didn't suffer at all. They got a little break. I'm sure dad was, he seems like a pretty good dad. I'm sure they're obviously loaded beyond belief. So if they needed a little daycare or, somebody to, take them to Chuck E. Cheese, I'm sure they had that. But if the most important thing was that she was able to go get right and then become a really good mom. And obviously it's paying off. She's got new music on the radio and stuff.
A healthy mom is the best kind of mom. I just thought I would be intrigued if you're listening right now and thought it was selfish. You should once a year or twice a year go somewhere for a couple of days.
Where would you go? If this was you, where would you go?
If I wouldn't be able to leave for 2 weeks. I'm not at that point. I'm not at the point mentally where I just need a break.
Take a long weekend. Where are you going to go?
I would love to go stay at an Airbnb or like a B&B and have it be like half spa. So I'd wake up and I'd just have that quiet, calm vibe.
They could do that anywhere then. So yours isn't necessarily a destination. You just have to be at a spa resort.
So for my 19th birthday, my mom got me this B&B experience, but it was a spa in Taylor's Falls, and it was the house. It was like a mansion, and the bottom level was a spa, and then you got to go upstairs.
All you had to do was walk downstairs.
It was beautiful, and it was perfect, and you lived in a terry cloth robe, and you got tea, and you had lunch made for you, like really healthy lunch, and it was ideal. So if you can make that happen for yourself, squirrel some money away. So every 6 months or once a year, you go do that for yourself. I think that is the least selfish thing that you could possibly do.
Don't be selfish and leave your husband at home. That's just such a horrible look.
All right, so we have a buddy that works in the industry, and he knows somebody that is looking to cast for adult siblings for a reality show. So
why don't you do this?
I can't do this.
Do this with your brother.
Just okay.
You're the high drama one then.
I am not the high drama one.
If it's you and your brother Michael, you're the high drama one. You work on a nationally syndicated broadcast outlet. Your life is so bananas. You peed your pants at Target.
That's true.
You would be awesome. And he would sit there stroking his beard going, I can't believe she's part of our family.
I know. He's so chill. So is my brother Casey. But remember when I was going to go noodling with them? That would have been a good episode, right?
Right. You sticking your hand in a big hole of mud and then coming out with a giant catfish. I'd pay to see that.
Panned out. And I'm so upset about it.
I can't believe you didn't go into the wild and try and catch a fish with your bare hands.
I could do that. I could do that. The more and more I watch Naked and Afraid, I could do that. They need a siblings Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, I don't want to be naked with my sister.
They just aired a couples one in honor of Valentine's Day, and Derek was so mad. He called me about it yesterday. He goes, they are too nice to each other. They're working too well together because they were husband and wife. And
plus all that naked time, don't you want to get down?
Yeah. He made her a heart out of a coconut, and Jesus. Derek's like, barf. Where's the fighting? Where are the ant attacks? All this stuff. But do you have a sibling or siblings that you feel could star in this reality show?
You know my sister. Tell me she wouldn't be perfect.
She would be perfect.
Real Housewives of Victoria.
Yeah. If you lived a block away from her, she would just be walking in all the time, staying too late, drinking wine. I could see that. Her coming over just to borrow stuff.
I can't even tell you how perfect she would be. This is a girl who, for no reason at all, will only look for the drama in a situation.
Yeah.
And she'll dip her toe in and she'll realize, ooh, there's something here. And then she'll dig in a little bit deeper, even when you're like,
oh, weird. I wonder if that runs in the family.
No.
I wonder if pushing people's buttons.
My mom
runs
wasn't
in the
like that
family.
at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. But
my
this
sister,
is a big payment, by the way. Like, people are going to get paid a lot of money.
What's a lot of money for something like this? $250,000?
Well, they say $40,000 an episode if it gets the ratings that it is requesting. But
how much of your life do they really record? How many weeks of taping do you think they've got to tape to get like an episode?
I have no idea. Kendall says, my sister and I are crazy. We deserve our own reality show. We're 2 years apart, and we're always dealing with wild stuff in our life.
Molly on our show, she would have been perfect.
Yeah, she would have.
With her sister and her lesbian sister who got married to a doctor, and they together, like, her sister was cool and calm but when they got together,
yeah,
it was like somebody added acid.
I know.
Like I'd never seen it before.
They were wild. And then her brother owns like properties, and he is having people not pay their rent every single month. So he had me call.
You were the enforcer?
See if they would answer, and then he'd know that they were answering because they wouldn't.
They were
answer
skirting
his
him.
calls.
Yeah.
Didn't. So, I mean, do you have maybe even throw out one scenario that you think would be a perfect episode for one of these reality shows?
Yesterday, my son came home from college, and he said, guys, can I use the washer and dryer? He had texted my wife, Trish, and I, and said, can I wash clothes today? I said, no problem. Yeah, come on by. And I thought he was going to come in with like a load of lights and a load of darks. Mm-hmm. And it was about 7 or 8 of each. I mean, it was mountains of laundry. I'm like, where did you get all of these clothes? And I don't mind that he comes home and uses our stuff. That's fine. But I really, now that I gave it some thought, think that he took all of his roommates, like their house, they've got 4 people living there. And I believe he took everyone's clothes and is making money off of us.
Good for him.
Yeah. So I came across this list, and my son, of the most common laundry fails, committed 3 of the top 5 yesterday. So when you're doing laundry at your house, you got Derek, you got Liam. What do you think is the biggest fail that happens when you guys do laundry?
Not take chapstick out of the pockets.
Good one.
It is bad. Like Derek, I never put chapstick in my, so it had to have been Liam because Derek swears he didn't, but all of his new sweatshirts, Champions, all of them. Mess.
Now, will that wash out?
No, they don't.
Again? It's there forever?
I don't know how you get oil stains out of sweatshirts.
Just hot water, probably, right?
I'm like, bummer. A couple of my jeans. Oh, I was so mad.
Our biggest fail is when a Tide Pod just kind of sticks to like one part of the clothing and doesn't completely disintegrate. Have you ever had that happen?
No.
So that happened on one of my favorite like long sleeve shirts. You don't use liquid detergent? Yeah. So these are the big 5. These are the most common mistakes that people will make when they're doing laundry. Cramming too much stuff into the wash so it doesn't get clean enough. Mm-hmm. We're probably all pretty guilty of that. Number 4, forgetting to put clean clothes in the dryer so you have to wash them again. You ever done that? Where they get that wet, musty smell? There's nothing worse. I am so sensitive to that smell.
Yeah, Derek is a good turnover. So he does all of our laundry. I'm like a princess.
My son did this yesterday, and I benefited from it. He left a bunch of loose change in his pocket, so it rattled around in the dryer, and I cleaned it out this morning. I think it was close to 64 cents.
Okay.
Which is probably his entire bankroll as a broke college kid.
Yeah.
Number 2, leaving a dark item in with the whites. It kind of ruins it, makes it dingy.
Never noticed.
I think if you wash in cold, that's not a thing anymore.
We wash everything in cold, I think, or like a lukewarm. We don't do hot because you don't have to.
Yeah, unless you're really, really trying to get some grungies out. And then the number 1 biggest mistake when people do laundry is kind of like the chapstick, leaving a tissue in the pocket. It disintegrates all over in the wash, and you're picking those little white things off everything you own for months, it seems like, because once it goes in the dryer, it gets stuck on there.
One of the worst days was when we went to the beach and I changed Liam's diaper, and I left the diaper wadded up because there wasn't a garbage can anywhere near around. So I put it inside the towel, wrapped the towel up, whatever. I got home, I put everything in the washer, and then all the gel came out and his turd. I was like, what the H? It was so gross. So if you are friends with us on Facebook, odds are I will pull from your life. I will contact you and see if you want to come on. If you say no, I'm going to read it anyway. This is Sydney's. And she even posted a picture of what happened. So she said, if you had a small child at blank this weekend, I'm not going to say where, and decided to let her sing Bruno at the top of her lungs the entire time, you're the problem, with claps in between. You're the problem. If by taking your kids out to eat to show them how to act in public, you need to properly show them. We lost count at 18. You gave her.
This girl sang Bruno,
you don't talk about
18
Bruno.
times?
Yeah. You gave her your phone, headphones, and let her go at it. It was cute for the first 2. But after that, how did you think that it was okay? The pic is of you and your angel, if you needed reminding. Also,
Posted it, huh?
shame on the waitstaff for letting it go for so long. So, see, she put smiley faces over their face.
I think that's misguided anger on the wait staff. They're not going to turn down an opportunity to have a really great tip to reprimand somebody from
true.
singing. And the only reason I can say this is my daughter, when she's back from college, waitresses a lot. And I can't imagine her coming up to somebody and making them shut their kid up because.
Well, that's the manager's job then.
Maybe.
Not the waiter. The manager needs to go, oh, hi. Yep, we need to stop singing that loud because it's annoying everybody else. I remember I was on a flight and I tried to smile every time, but this mom had her 3-year-old on her lap facing my way, facing over the back of the headrest.
Yeah, really safe.
And she was like popping up. And then I'd have to act surprised, like every time, like you go to hibachi and you're like, oh, the egg is coming at my face.
Wait, is that a volcano?
Yeah, whoa, the choo-choo train. You can only feed into it so long. And then you just pretend to look out the window. And then you pretend to act like the drink cart's coming. And I was like, okay, now, get some control. It's annoying other people. Have you ever had an obnoxious situation like that? You have 3 kids out to eat when they were younger. Did you have to worry about that stuff?
No. We would go to places that were okay with that.
Like sports bars or Chuck E. Cheese?
We would go to Mexican Village. And that corner booth way in the back?
Yeah, sure.
That's our spot.
Okay.
They saw that my wife and I had no control.
Yeah.
And even if the place was dead empty, we don't need, that's a booth for 7. Mm-hmm. We would only have one of the kids with. They'd walk us all the way back there.
Yeah, nice.
And sit us in the corner booth so that we couldn't really annoy people.
Why do people bring their kids to eat if they have no control over their kids? What a horrible
Somebody else's
situation
problem now.
For you to be in, though. You know what I mean? How annoying.
Didn't stress me out. It's a controlled environment.
So rude.
Whatever. But what I had the same thing happen to me that you did, but in church, we'd go visit my mom and dad for Christmas, and we'd always go to Christmas Eve service. And the church would be they'd leave the doors open on Christmas Eve because it would get so hot in there. Uh-huh. And then I remember the one year, one of my high school friends has a baby and over his wife's shoulder, and that baby is staring right at maybe his 1-year-old. And the whole entire service. Yeah. And at first, when you're waiting for church to start, you're like, hey, whoa, whoa. Yeah. You're making the bubbly eyes, crossing your eyes, and you get a little giggle. But then that kid, you get a little bit further in, and the wise men are showing up. Yeah. And Mary's having the baby, and that kid is still just eyeballing you the whole time. And then you're nervous. And so I'm tapping my wife at the time, you got to make some faces at this kid. And so my wife goes, I got to go to the bathroom. And then she just leaves, and there's I'm sitting there. Yeah, I mean, she just completely bails on the whole thing. So that obnoxious kid thing in the restaurant, will you share your story with us real quick? I'd love to take calls on this.
All right, so I read this post from Sydney, who is friends with me on Facebook. And trust me, that's where I get 90% of our content. But she said that if you had a small child at blank restaurant this weekend, decided to let her sing Bruno at the top of her lungs the entire time. I guess the parent gave the child a phone, headphones, let her go at it. They lost count at 18. So rude. But she posted a picture of this person with another adult and the child, put smiley faces over the faces so she didn't get in trouble. But she said also shame on the wait staff for not calling it off, letting it go so long.
I don't know if I agree with that.
But I do agree with letting the manager do the job. That's what they get paid for. But I want to know, have you ever had that obnoxious moment in a restaurant?
Angela over here on line 3 says, hold my beer. What do you got?
We were at a restaurant, and you know how they'll bring out a little birthday sundae when it's your birthday?
Yeah.
So they could start bringing out a birthday sundae to my kid, but the kid at the table next to us was singing louder than all of the wait staff combined. He was probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And he was just birthday to you!
Oh, man.
The whole time everybody else was trying to sing.
I love that.
For one, I'm just okay, it was kind of cute, but then in the other part of my head, I'm be quiet. You're drowning everybody else out.
Drowning. I cut that too. Thank you for hollering at us. I appreciate it. Your kid got a little out of control, or it was right next to you. I want to talk to Brittany. Hey, Brittany, what's going on? Give me your story real quick.
somebody was celebrating their birthday, and my daughter jumped up, and she started, like, dancing and swinging her arms around and was singing happy birthday and, like, riding a horse. And, I mean, the whole 9 yards just in front of everybody.
That's all right.
I can handle that. I can. It wasn't 18 rounds plus of we don't talk about Bruno. I can handle a cute kid moment like that for a brief moment.
If your kid's into it and they want to celebrate, I'm all into it. But yeah, you're right. 18 rounds of Bruno.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.